Everyone has no doubt seen the news by now that star defensive end Myles Garrett has requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns, and I fully expect this to be done by the start of the new league year. Very similar to how Matthew Stafford was traded 4 years ago. It kind of popped off in January, and by the end of January, it was done. It took about 3 weeks for the trade to happen. Now, when that does occur, if it is before the new league year begins, it cannot become official until the start of the new league year, which is March 12th of 2025. It's exactly like Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford would be. Remember, the trade was basically done on paper. It became official in March, and that day, both teams actually were allowed to come into the facility. You can't do any of that stuff until that is done or till the new league year begins. But the purpose of this video is, could Za'Darius Smith try to help lure Myles Garrett to the Detroit Lions? Because Myles wants to be in contention for a Super Bowl, and there's no doubt that the Lions are in that window right now, contenders. I think they took a step back with that loss to the Washington Commanders, going 15-2, home field advantage for the first time in their franchise history, just to do nothing in that game against the Washington Commanders. Now, you can put it, we've had discussions ad nauseum about why that happened, but one of the reasons why it happened was the fact that we could not get any turnovers as well because our defense sucked. Our defensive line has sucked a long time, and no matter what you guys want to say about forget them picks or keep draft picks building through the draft, how long do you build through the draft? In addition to that, how many of these draft picks are going to be Myles Garrett? This is a player that is proven and is going to be the hottest commodity this offseason. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And if the Detroit Lions really, really value winning a Super Bowl, they'll make this happen. But could Za'Darius Smith get him to come to Detroit? Now, Za'Darius was traded at the trade deadline, and I mean, we were making videos. I was making videos about both of them because we thought that the Detroit Lions could make a monster move like this, get not just one, but with the loss, because we always needed a bookend to Hutch, and then Hutch goes out, and then we need another guy as well. So I thought that's where maybe an Aziz or somebody, a Khalil Mack, somebody could have came in and helped fill the void left by Hutch, but then also be a person on the opposite side of him. With that being the case, this is Brad's time to put his money where his mouth is. He said the other day, well, we'll talk about him a little later, but Za'Darius Smith gets traded at the trade deadline and is immediately adored by the city, immediately feels at home, and was second on the team in sacking the quarterback outside of a dude named Aiden Hutchinson, who didn't play since the middle of October. That tells you the state of the Detroit Lions defensive line. But could the experience that Za'Darius Smith has had in Detroit help Myles Garrett want to come to Detroit? Because this is a two-sided, it's like a three-team deal. One team is the general manager of the Detroit Lions or whatever, every other team that's looking into Myles Garrett. One is the Cleveland Browns, and then number 3 is Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, I don't know if he has a no-trade clause in his contract, but he's requesting a trade. If he has a no-trade clause, he can basically pick where he wants to go. Now, I think that the Detroit Lions could fit. They could fit. We're definitely going to be in contention. We might take a step back record-wise. We got a very tough schedule. I do not expect 15-2, maybe 10 and something, 11-6, maybe 12-5. I mean, it's too early to tell. We got to see what we do in free agency in the draft. But I don't think we're going to go 15-2. But that type of the way that we embraced Za'Darius Smith, could he help us lure Myles Garrett to the Detroit Lions? I'm going to say, yeah. I think Za'Darius Smith is going to be here. It doesn't make much sense to cut him at all. And even if we cut him and re-sign him and all that other stuff, if I'm Za'Darius, I'm not taking a pay cut. I know you traded for me out of desperation. I was second on the team in sacks. I'm not taking a pay cut. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You had an opportunity to get somebody, and it ain't no beef. It's business. I'm not taking if you want to cut me, then it is what it is. I want to be here. I told you that, but taking a pay cut, I'm not sure about that. You don't get to pick and choose what you want to do when you was desperate. You still need a pass rusher. Now, if you cut Za'Darius to get Myles, then that's I still wouldn't do that. I think you can still make it happen, but we'll talk more about that later. Now, everybody's saying, and this is for the people saying that we can't get Myles and pay like the guys that we want to pay. And that's false. A lot of people, when it comes to Myles Garrett, they're looking at past 2 years. I'm not looking at past 2 years. I'm looking at 2 seasons. 2 seasons with Myles Garrett. Then we'll talk about it after that, because after that, Myles will be over the age of 30. He'll be 31 years old. Who knows what we do? And let's bring it back to the let's need forget the picks. The LA Rams, they wind up trading for Jalen Ramsey. They win a Super Bowl. 2 years later, he's traded to the Miami Dolphins. If you trade for anyone, and we forgot about Matthew Stafford. If you win the Super Bowl, that's it. Trade one. If you win the Super Bowl, trade one. DeAndre Hopkins, not the same level of Myles Garrett, but he was once like the Myles Garrett of receivers when he was in his prime. They traded, Kansas City traded for a past his prime DeAndre Hopkins, helped them get to a Super Bowl. Scared money don't make no money, and Za'Darius knows in his short time that he's been here what this city is. And he could help bring Myles Garrett to Detroit. But we can still pay our guys. I saw a tweet about, oh, we can't pay this. Nobody's talking about a contract extension. If we go back and we look at Myles Garrett and his farewell letter to the Cleveland Brown fan base, it doesn't seem like money is a concern. Canton, the Hall of Fame is not a concern. Winning a Super Bowl is his number one priority. He don't need any more money right now. If you told him that he would win a Super Bowl in 2 seasons, he would not care about a contract extension. And who knows if Myles wants a contract extension. He can want to come to a team, get a Super Bowl, be 31, 32. Now him and Za'Darius, he's Za'Darius Smith age, and now he wants to start something new. Look at what happened with Von Miller. Von Miller did it with the Rams. He came, won a Super Bowl with the Rams, signed a massive deal with the Buffalo Bills, and now is a Buffalo Bill. Why are we so concerned about the future when the future is here? And as far as these other, okay, Brian Branch, he's going into year 3. We don't got to worry about Brian Branch right now. We don't got to worry about Kirby Joseph. He going to be paid. And he not getting no $100 million deal. That ain't happening. But we keep talking about extending. Who knows if Myles Garrett wants an extension? Myles Garrett wants to win the Super Bowl. That's what he wants. Shoot, he wants to win games. He got a playoff win. He got a winning season. He's got a division title, right? Because I think the Cleveland Browns won it a few years ago at that atrocious 8-1 or whatever they were. So they've been there. Myles Garrett wants to win. If you want to win, you're going to take a pay cut. If you're not, Myles Garrett is not necessarily thinking about an extension right now. He's thinking about winning the Super Bowl. So if you're Za'Darius Smith, we know Za'Darius, man, he all smiles. He's all smiles. So I could see this happening. It really is going to talk about Brad, and we're going to talk about him a little later. Is what might have to happen. What if Brad put this together? What could he put together? But that's going to be a later video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. This is going to be a big topic during the offseason.